Today's topic is in-home pop-ups, booking them, and basically how to run them so they're fun and successful when we're there. It's something that, as we all know, in-home pop-ups in general are the lifeblood of our business. I truly believe that you can't have a good, successful online presence if you don't have a good in-home presence. Most of my long-term customers are people who I've actually met in person or at least friends of theirs. So I invited on Amy Webster and Janelle Woodfell to chat with us tonight because they both rock in-home pop-ups. And I'm basically going to let them take it away. If you see me bop in and out, I am listening to you guys. I'm just also trying to hang all my inventory up in my new room. So don't mind me. Let's start. Amy, you're going to kick off today. And you're going to basically talk about filling your calendar to start off.
Yes. So I do have a couple of talking points. Filling up your calendar, setting up your hostess, and sealing the deal in booking on the spot at the in-home pop-up. When filling up your calendar, we all know the 72-hour game plan. So that is one thing I practice. And when doing it, you have to come up with a goal. Come up with a goal of how many pop-ups you want to book that month, and then break it down by week. Booking doesn't necessarily mean booking an actual in-home pop-up. It could be a vendor event, a fundraiser, a styling session, partner up with the local business. You can even do, like, if there's like a quarter auction going on at the local school, donate a basket of leggings or something. That could be a quote unquote event because it could give you a lead in booking an in-home pop-up. And then I've also, February, I actually booked a last minute in-person pop-up by doing a shop the box. I knew a new box was coming in. I said, hey, who wants to come over to my house, invite a few of your friends, and we can do a pop-up and shop the box. So I literally felt like I was like a party like consultant, because I took the box, I put it on the table, and it's like, all right, so here is a Randy. The Randy is our baseball raglan sleeve. And I was just like pulling things out of a box and like giving them a show. And then afterwards they were really excited to go into the Lula room and shop some more. And then when all else fails, if you are having trouble booking a pop-up, host your own. I try to host one in my house once a month. And that also can bring you to more leads. So when you are setting up your calendar, you practice the 72-hour game plan, and you have to be confident and assertive. I try really hard not to ask yes or no questions. I ask open-ended questions. When you're booking that pop-up, think of it as like you're at the doctor's office and you're making an appointment. They look at their calendar, and they look at it and they see, all right, would a weekday be weekday or weekend? And then you say, all right, daytime or evening. And then you can pick the two available dates that are closest to that time to you. And like I have the 15th and the 16th available. And then if that doesn't work, give them another option. So you want to give them 2 to 3 options at the beginning, and then building off of that. So you want to keep your momentum, and you don't want to sound desperate either. So when I'm asking these open-ended questions, I'm feeling them out, and I'm listening to what their concerns are in terms of their busy schedule, because right now we are going into the biggest selling season of spring. But there's also wedding season. There's going to be events like Mother's Day is coming up, Easter. So we have to plan accordingly around that too, especially when there's holidays coming up. So let me see. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. So once you have them on your calendar, you set them up. And I tell them what I do for my specials. I do one. I explain to them that every 10 is one free. I also make it special for them as a host. I want to push them to want to sell more than 10 pieces at their pop-up. So at 20, I say that at the end of the month, I put all my hosts in for a drawing for a free piece of that month. So like this month I did black leggings. So at the end of the month, I'm going to put all my hosts into a pot that sold over 20 pieces, and they get a chance to win a free pair of leggings. Then I give a next tier, 30 or more pieces, they automatically got a maxi skirt on top of their host rewards. You want to do something a little bit different to set you apart from other consultants, because there's going to be other consultants that are going to be trying to book parties. So you want to set yourself apart. And then I send them a hostess packet. I am a mom of 3 and I am very busy and I don't like to reinvent the wheel. While I love and appreciate the personalized hostess letter that I see that a lot of consultants do, I just use the little hostess pamphlet that I find in the promo. I use that, and then I write a little quick note explaining what that little pamphlet is about, and then saying that I included 10 physical invitations, 10 business cards, and then I put a Join the Movement booklet just to plant that seed, because even if they aren't interested, maybe they know someone who would like the opportunity to look into it. And then I put all my contact information on the back of each pamphlet. And so that's my hostess packet. And sometimes I'll add like a little candy or a hair tie or something just to give it as a little something extra. And I also put in that note that if someone that they encounter cannot make it to the pop-up, they are welcome to join my group and shop any album sales or any sales that I have within 2 weeks prior to the pop-up. And they just write their hostess name in the notes at checkout. The reason why I do this is because, one, it gets them introduced, it gets them to know me, because when I have the Facebook event, they only get a little bit of a glimpse, but once they join my group, they get to really connect with me and shop with me and get kind of, quote unquote, addicted to LuLaRoe. And then it gets them excited to want to continue to shop with me after the pop-up. And even if they shop and they plan to come to the pop-up, they're going to want more. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought. So that's what I do. I write in the note, and then I set up their Facebook event. I put all my Facebook events on my business page. I put all my Facebook events on my business page because I want to advertise what I'm doing. I want to show my customers and my hostesses that I'm a busy, busy woman, and I love to book in homes. And this has benefited me because I've had people who I don't even know come out and reach out to me and want to book a party with me because they see that they see what I'm doing. I also am very engaging in my Facebook events. I have I got this idea from, I forgot her name. I think her name was Amy. She was, I believe she's a mentor at back in October training, to tie in a giveaway leading up to the pop-up. And so I post like daily challenges in the event, introducing styles, and I post a little challenge, and so they can participate and they can learn what I sell and what I do. And it gets them excited leading up to the pop-up. So then from there, I'm sealing the deal at a pop-up. So at the pop-up, I have the hostess help me. I talk to the host and ask her if she has any friends interested in hosting their own pop-up, so I can kind of get an idea who's coming in, and I can engage with them during the pop-up. And also plant that seed with the host and saying, if that person books at their pop-up, if they sell 10 or more pieces, you get a free pair of leggings too. So it kind of gives them an incentive to be like, hey, so-and-so, you should host a pop-up too after mine. So from there, I at checkout, when I am bringing them out, I ask them, did you get everything you wanted tonight? And if they say no, I said, let's get you on my calendar so you can get those pieces that you wanted free. Again, I'm not really asking if they want to host a pop-up. I'm assuming they already do. And I'm kind of like I'm really basically just asking them which date do they want. Rather than asking them if they want to host a pop-up, you're not asking a yes or no question. You're asking an open-ended question. It's not really pushy. You're being assertive because you know that they want it. Sometimes people just need that little push. You're just helping them. And also, one thing I've learned, when someone shows interest, be excited, but don't be overly excited. Because sometimes the person sitting next to them might be thinking about it, but when you say like, oh my God, you want to host a pop-up, you sound a little desperate and you kind of scare the other person who's a little indecisive away. You don't want to do that. So be excited, but also just tone down your excitement a little bit. Act professional, I guess. And then at the end, I take a picture of my host with all her rewards. I either post it to the event or even post it to my VIP page because I want to bring it back to my group. I want to bring it back to them and say, like, this is what I'm doing. Again, you're advertising that you do pop-ups. And I also post pictures of my setups on Instagram. I post like me like on my way to a pop-up. So that helps get people to see what you're doing and excited that, you know, that's what I want to do. I want to book a pop-up. Sorry if I talked a little too fast. Is there any questions or should I go back on something that you may have missed?
I think you did great, Amy. If anyone, by the way, if you guys have questions, there's a little chat bar when someone's talking, so we can get to those afterwards if you want to throw a question in there. But Amy makes a good point about it has to be, like, a lot of our customers don't realize that we do in-home pop-ups. It's crazy. People will be like, oh, I thought it was just all online. Like, people have no idea that LuLaRoe can be done in the comfort of their home, and it's a lot more fun that way. So I think it's important, more than just posting in your Facebook group like, hey, I am looking for hostesses for an in-home pop-up. You need to show them, even if you're faking it, like if you're set up in your house as Amy said, for like you're throwing your own pop-up, take pictures of that. Say, get excited. Say, I'm ready for a pop-up. Even if there's no one that's coming to it, fake it until you make it. When people see pictures of me, like with my car packed up or everything all set up, people start inquiring and they're like, oh yeah, she will come to my house. So it's important to remind our customers of that, because if we're not posting that stuff in our groups as well, you might be losing out on the potential of someone actually booking an in-home pop-up with you because they thought that you were all online. So it's good to remind our customers that that is something that we do. It's important. So from this point, unless anyone has a question for Amy, we can grab questions at the end as well. I'm going to send it over to Janelle, and Janelle does a lot of in-home pop-ups. She's going to talk a little bit about kind of gathering excitement up to and at your pop-up and booking pop-ups off the current pop-up that you have. So Janelle, let me unmute you, and you take it away, love.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Janelle, and first I want to say I am not I'm a very outgoing, emotional person, but I'm actually more introverted. So doing a pop-up is completely exhausting to me. And I know I've seen sort of on the boards that it's exhausting for a lot of you too. So I just want to put that out there, that it is completely exhausting for me, but I love it. I would, if I could, and if I thought I could make it in this business, I would be 100% in-home pop-ups. Because I'm very relationship based, and I try and differentiate on service and basically getting to know all my customers and building those relationships. So when I book a pop-up, I try and make it like the most fun night out these ladies can have as possible. I mean, most of my clients are busy moms, and I'm a busy mom. And I know if I get like 3 hours to myself, I want to feel awesome when I leave, whenever I leave something. And if I feel drained, I'm not going to want to do it again. So I try and make it super fun. I really get myself amped up for a pop-up. I listen to like really groovy beats before I go. It's all got to be positive, high energy music. So I go in and I'm really jazzed up. Just to a little bit touch on hostess prep, because I do think that ties in a little bit. I get my hostesses amped up. I say, make sure you have a dress on, pick out your favorite dress. It's got to be a dress. It can't be leggings and an Irma. It's got to be a dress. And I also ask them to put on fun music too. And I also I also ask for no food, which I know is a little crazy, but I actually have in my hostess letter, I say the worst thing is if people are in the kitchen talking around a fab spinach dip and they're not checking out your friend's Cassie, or I say something like that. And ever since I started putting that in my hostess letter, I've seen that make a huge difference because it gets people out of the kitchen and into the room where the clothes are. So, yeah, so I just have some notes here. I'm so nervous doing this. I don't know why. So anyways, so I do post an event 3 times before the pop-up, and I post like, I would say like day 5, day 3, and day 1. And I offer a raffle for everyone that gets there in the first 15 minutes. So I only book my pop-ups for an hour and a half, and you've got to be there. I don't do a follow-on party. I feel ridiculous actually that I'm talking about this, like hearing what everyone else does. I don't do a shop the row link before or after. I don't do any of that. I just am like, you've got to be there. You've got to be at the party, and we're going to have fun, and it's going to be awesome for an hour and a half. So I incentivize people to get there 15 minutes early. I give away a pair of leggings. I just draw a name, and I have the hostess draw the name. I don't draw the name. And I greet every customer that comes in, just like I'm sure all of you do. I greet them. I ask them if they're new to LuLaRoe. If they're not, I just say, okay, here's where all the different styles are. And if they are, I walk them through each of the racks and I introduce them to the styles. I myself am always wearing 2 to 3 pieces of LuLaRoe. I typically wear a dress unless I'm going somewhere where I know that dresses are not going to be their jam. And if that's the case, if it's more casual, I'll wear like a Madison and a Randy or something like that. Let's see. So yes. So I just make it really fun. I'm very energetic. I introduce myself. I say how long I've been selling. I say where I'm from. I do not have a lot of friends actually that have hosted parties for me. It's been friends of friends of friends. I do not do a lot of online sales. I've never done a multi-consultant sale. I've only done a couple of hosted online sales. I feel completely ridiculous. But again, I would only do the in-home pop-up if I could. Let's see. So very high energy. I try and work. So if I see someone's not finding something, or if they're feeling like a little bit uncomfortable with the patterns, because that happens a lot, I work and I help them try and find like more of a solid. Or say if like I'm having a party and someone invites their mom and their mom's like, I'm not going to do this crazy stuff. I show them the little girls' dresses, right? So they probably have a granddaughter or a niece or something, and I show them the little girls' dresses. And when I do that, I say, oh, we can find a great pair of leggings to go with those. So, you know, again, trying to put together an outfit. And you know, I was at one, you know, a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh, this would be, you know, the cutest spring outfit or Easter outfit. And they're like, oh, yeah, I can set that aside. And then someone else heard that, and they bought a dress and leggings, and they set it aside. So it's just gently trying to get to know your customers. You know, sometimes they say, oh, well, I don't know what size so-and-so is. And I say, and I'm an open book. I say, you know, I'm typically a size small. I can size up in many of the styles. I can size down in some of the styles. And I actually will change during the party, which sounds a little bit uncomfortable. But people like it because I change and I show them how to style things. So at a party, I will potentially show up in a Julia. I will then go and put on a Carly. I will show how to layer a Joy over a Julia, because I know lots of women do not even want to try Julias. And they're like, Janelle, that's not my jam. That's going to show things I don't want to show. And I say, okay, well, here's a Joy. And I'm going to be honest, I was super hesitant to bring on Joy. And the only reason why I brought it on was because I received a box with a whole bunch of Joys. And I was like, I'm not going to send this back. I'm just going to figure out how to sell it. And I started wearing it and I was like, oh, this is pretty cozy. Like, I like this layering piece. And so I can talk positively about that and say, you know, I feel more comfortable layering with the Joy. I do try and help make outfits right on the spot. It's hard, but if I see someone has a Cassie, I try and know my inventory before I go in, and I say, oh, you know, I have a classic tee that would look so cute with this. And sometimes they're like, you know, no, thank you. thank you very much, crazy lady. And sometimes they're like, oh yeah, I don't know what I'm going to wear with this. So I do feel like you have to put yourself out there. Usually at the party, I own being ridiculous. I know I am a little bit ridiculous, but I own it. And if I'm not high energy, then there's no way I can expect anyone else at the party to be high energy. And if I'm not having a good time and trying to be the life of the party, then I can't expect that either. I've gone into horrible parties. I would say I started in July and I had a party in August and I came home crying. I drove 2 hours to the party. I had, there were three girls there, and there were supposed to be like 10. And I came home and I was crying and I told my husband, I was like, I can't do this. This is awful. This is so awful. And my husband who, my husband is amazing, but this is Janelle's thing. This is definitely Janelle's thing. My husband was like, well, you have to figure out how to not have that happen again, how to make the most of the time when you're there. And he frequently reminds me of that. I have an hour and a half with these women and it's only Janelle. And, they're not sitting on their couch at home. I have their undivided attention. So for that hour and a half, I have to kill it. I'm going to be there anyways. So I've got to kill it in that hour and a half. And since I started taking on that attitude, and I would say more so in the past, like 4 months, I've seen my business really grow with online presence and also with in-home presence. So I just try and get to know the guests at checkout. I say, when are you going to wear your outfit? Which is, a little bit maybe pushy, but, they'll say, oh, I'm going to wear this to work tomorrow. And I'll say, oh, well, I really hope you love it. You're going to be so comfortable. And then I'll say, if you want to have your own party, I am super generous with my hostess rewards. I give a free pair of leggings just for hosting. And then for every 10 sold, you get anything you want for free. And then I specifically say, you could get an Amelia for free. You can get a Sarah for free. And they were like, oh, really? And they don't even know. And so I have like a little plaque thing that says, want to earn free clothes. I think it came in my onboarding kit. I put it in a frame and it's right next to me at checkout. I do not put people on the spot. I will say that I'm terrible at closing the deal. I'm terrible at feeling like rejection. Like they're like, no, you're crazy, Janelle. I that's hard for me. I do book some parties on the spot, but most of my parties come through the follow-up, and it's up to me to follow up. And I will say, I do not follow up with people that maybe aren't as nice, or I wouldn't feel comfortable in their home. Because if I don't feel comfortable, the party's not going to be amazing, and it's got to be amazing if I'm going to take the time away from my kids. I do post on my Facebook page every single time I have a party, and I know that probably drives people bonkers, but my customers know I book Thursdays probably 6 weeks in advance. That is Thursday nights are my jam. Thursday night, I've given up everything. Thursday nights are my number one night. I would say Fridays are okay. And Saturday nights, if I do them at 5 o'clock, are pretty good. So those are basically the only nights I do parties now. I definitely understand that, my own capacity. I just try and create urgency, and I try and just make it fun. And I don't know. I think that's all I have. Does anyone have any questions?
I think probably the number one question anyone watching this or on right now is that if you or Amy have any kind of extra like mile you guys have gone to book a pop-up, or times where maybe you've gotten stuck and you felt like your schedule wasn't full, any kind of like emergency booking you've done. I mean, I've called businesses. I think Amy said I've had my own pop-up, and I've actually said to my local customers, hey, come on by, and if you want, I'll pick one of you to be the hostess while you're there, and I've gotten a good turnout that way. Anything like that when it comes to, you feel like your schedule is a little bit thin, what do you do to kind of bulk it up a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's fundraisers. 100% it's fundraisers. I looked at my calendar going into January and I was like, I am in deep yogurt. I'm never going to make this. And hands down, it's fundraisers. And I reached out to, I actually reached out to my kids' school because I know they do fundraisers, and they had someone back out. And I said, I'll do a fundraiser and I'll give you a percentage of sales. And they were like, yeah. So I did one at my kids' school. I've done a couple at local preschools. I've done a couple for local causes. Fundraisers have been amazing for my business. And that is something I took from one of the other groups. Someone had like their first 100-piece party was a fundraiser. I don't remember. I heard this somewhere along the line. And I was like, oh yeah, obviously. And I mean, so hands down, fundraisers have been a huge gap closure for me. And also posting in public places. I've had a couple friends that have been cool with that, and I've done that. But fundraisers, hands down, has been a key for me.
Yes, I have
Amy, yeah, go ahead, Amy.
I have to agree. Fundraisers, definitely. And in public, we're going into spring and warmer weather, and go to the park, sell out of the trunk of your car, say like, hey, who wants to have I have kids, so mommy play date at the park, and say, I'll pack up some styles, and while the kids are playing at the park, the moms can shop. So that's another thing you can do. I also like hunt down like local vendor events. Like this Saturday, I was completely booked with birthday parties, and the birthday party in the morning got canceled. So I was like, all right, well, I need to fill that spot up with something that I can pertain to my business. I can choose to go and hang out and sleep, but you know what? I really want to book up my beginning of the month, so that way I could fill my end of the month by booking off of those events. So so I was able to squeeze in a vendor event Saturday morning. But that keeping your calendar full at the beginning of the month helps you fill the end of the month. And when things are looking sparse, you booking a fundraiser, or you have a new box coming in, that like I did back in February was helpful too.
And I think, and also when I'll go back to past hostesses too. If it's been a few months, I'll say, hey, do you want to do this again? I've got a bunch of new stuff. Your friends probably are looking for more items, maybe to go with the original items. So let's book something again as well. And I'm a big fan of the fake it till you make it. As I said before, like a lot of times I will open up my own house and try to get stuff that way and really talk up having a party when people come over. I'm like Janelle too. I am a pretty big introvert. And I literally, especially when I started doing this, would have panic attacks. I still do sometimes, like as I'm packing my car. I get really overwhelmed, and I think of every option in the book of why I shouldn't do this. And then I finally figure out that that I have to do it. And now I just go into the fact that it's going to be fun. I have to do this, and I have to be my best me in order to sell what I want to sell when I get to that event. So.
I have to agree on that as well, booking with past hostesses, because I was looking at my leads, and I don't have that many leads going into spring. And so I started reaching out to my past hostesses, and they all, like, I booked 3 of them for May.
Which is awesome. I mean, and I think I just did the same thing, and I booked someone else for June that had done something with me in the fall. So don't ever kind of count them out, because a lot of times those are great places to book new pop-ups with new people, because there are probably some people who came to your original pop-up with the person and now have gotten into LuLaRoe. So now they're ready to host their own party. If you guys don't have any other questions, we'll wrap it up so everyone can go tend to their children and all the other things they need to do. But as always, you can ask Janelle and Amy any questions you want in the event or over in Lovely's. I will post the recording of this just in case for those who weren't able to come around. And I hope it helped a little bit. I know this can be a struggle. Believe me, it's something I struggle with too, even after doing this for almost 2 years. So thank you guys for joining us and chatting with us. And we will chat again soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.